Hello, how's it going? How you doing? Name this show. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Emma. It's Musical Theater Monday. Musical Theater Monday. Today I wasn't really planning to make a video, but as you know, life has been going on, and mainly I've been researching up on the George Floyd case and just kind of looking back of what has occurred in the last year. But the more that I look into this stuff, the more I hear the song that keeps coming back into my head, and I thought that I will share it with you today. This is a song from the musical South Pacific, which premiered in 1949. It is a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. It was made after their successes of Oklahoma and Carousel, but then they had kind of a flop failure with Allegro, and so South Pacific really needed to be good. They took inspiration from the book Tales of the South Pacific by James Michener. I do not know if I'm saying his last name right. And as you can already assume, based on the date that it premiered, it was right after World War II. A lot of things are definitely bubbling in terms of racial justice and racial equality. So basically it was created to challenge Americans' deep-seated bigotry against minorities and just like putting it right in front of their faces, which I think is pretty cool. And the song in question is called You've Got to Be Carefully Taught. Now, this song got a lot of backlash. A lot of people felt like it was unacceptable. Chances are this is coming from white, straight men, this opinion, but just assuming. And according to James Michener, he said that a few businessmen approached him and asked him to convince Rodgers and Hammerstein to pull that specific song out. He actually even used the term that they wanted to kill the song. The reason why is because it deals with racial matters, and they already weren't happy with the fact that a white male was falling in love with a Polynesian woman. They just felt like that the song was too much and just rubbing it in even more, and they just wanted it out. And so James brought this up to Rodgers and Hammerstein, and they said, well, what do you think about it? And he said, well, if you cut the song, you might as well cut the whole show. And they thought the same thing. They kept it as is, and it ended up being a success. Still a musical that is still done to this day, and it even won the Pulitzer Prize, so pretty cool. So I want to read the lyrics to you, because even though this song was made over 70 years ago, I think it still pertains to us to this day. In terms of cueing the song into it, Emil says, what makes her talk like that? Why do you have this feeling, you and she? I do not believe it is born in you. I do not believe it. And then Cable says, it is not born in you. It happens after you're born. You've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are ugly made and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be carefully taught. In terms of the song itself, I think it's very smart with how Rodgers and Hammerstein decided to execute it. They ended up making it into a little bit of an up-tempo song, which I believe the reason why is because they needed something a bit more, not uplifting in the moment, but I think they wanted to make sure that the audience was going to pay attention, and I'm pretty sure that if they decided to do a ballad-like thing, they probably would check out. So I think this helped them keep their attention to what was going on, as well as the text. And also, if you even see this is just 3 verses, very short and quick to the point. I feel like when it comes to talking about racism in general and white supremacy in general, I don't think we really talk about how it ends up getting into our DNA per se, and how very minute things can lead to big ideas and assumptions of other people later on. And this is mainly coming from my background of living in a state where there really wasn't that many minorities around. And when I moved to Jersey, it was definitely, I wouldn't say a shock, but it was very surprising with how sheltered I was in terms of not seeing other cultures and not seeing other people who are of color. And I don't know, it for some reason it just really took me back by how sheltered I was being in Vermont. And it also made me realize that there were a lot of things that, looking back on my habits, they were definitely coming from a place where they would be seen as racist. And I've grown a lot from those actions and knowing that those actions were wrong. And when I was looking back on why I had these things, it's because of how I was brought up. I feel like the things that we need to be the most aware of when it comes to speaking with others, especially to our children, is how we should treat others with respect and love and kindness, and just not judge people on the way that they look or the way that they sound. I think we just need to be aware of what we discuss around with others, especially young children, when it comes to very minute things or very passive statements, if that makes sense. I feel like those small moments and those small amount of words can be just as hurtful and detrimental to society as large, bigoted, discriminatory remarks and actions. So with everything going on, I just keep thinking of the title of this song, You've Got to Be Carefully Taught, which is true. And I think, especially for white people, that we need to hold ourselves accountable and we need to re-educate ourselves in certain areas, I think. And we need to educate ourselves in areas that maybe we don't really know a lot about, and just take this as an opportunity to grow and to be a better person and making the world a better place. And also, from all of this stuff, we can learn that we need to be much more aware of what we tell our children and what we show our children. They are the future, and if they grow up with bigoted white supremacist ideas, I feel like I don't need to explain what will happen, because we're seeing what it can do right now. I hope you guys like this. This was kind of made last minute. If you're interested in learning more about South Pacific, let me know down in the comments below. I can do a more in-depth thing about that. I just wanted to talk about the song itself today. I'm also going to link down below some theater organizations that are fighting for racial equality in the theater world. I highly encourage you guys to check them out, and if you can donate, amazing, and if not, that is okay. Just check them out, learn from them. May you be happy, healthy, safe, and at ease, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.